We, the collective, were told the Cleveland Browns were out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. He was either going to Atlanta, which was going to force Matt Ryan somewhere else, or he was going to go to New Orleans, which was going to lead to, I don't know, either a backup role or a signing elsewhere for Jameis Winston. Well, Matt Ryan's staying put. Jameis Winston is going to New Orleans, re-signing there, obviously, as a free agent. Deshaun Watson is giving Baker Mayfield his dream come true. He's out in Cleveland. He's going to go somewhere. Watson, $230 guaranteed million. $230 guaranteed million over his 5-year deal. That is $80 million more than Aaron Rodgers just got on his guaranteed deal. So we are talking history in just the most unbelievable sense for a guy who still very young, very much in his prime, and very, very good. We know that from his years in Houston, but has not played in more than a year, and obviously has what is still not a finalized off-field situation that he is dealing with.
Yeah, and to start, right, I think Cleveland was out. I don't think Deshaun wanted to go to Cleveland, but when you put $230 million guaranteed dollars in front of somebody, that'll do a lot of convincing on your behalf. You know, you talked about just how historically like an outlier that contract is. That's probably what Cleveland had to do to get this player, because again, we're talking a guy, you know, Aaron Rodgers is what, 35, 36 years old at this point. Deshaun Watson won't turn 27 until September. He is still very much in the prime of his career. And the last time we saw him, albeit for a very bad Texans squad, he dominated. He was arguably the best quarterback in the league that season. He led the league in yards, 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. Just a fantastic season. So, you know, I think all things considered, the way I look at this is how do the fans of an organization feel, right? Mm-hmm. And I think for the most part, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you're probably pretty okay with this. You know, take the off-field concerns away. It's a ton of money, but you know what? Does having Deshaun Watson give you a better chance of winning a title, which is ultimately the goal for every team? I think the answer to that question is unequivocally yes.
In terms of the deal, for anyone that missed it, it was a haul. No surprise there, obviously. So Browns and Texans, this is according to Ian Rappaport a little while ago. It's 3 first-round picks, a third-rounder, a late-round pick swap, a fourth for a fifth. That is the deal. Deshaun Watson and the fifth going the other way for that massive haul of picks that Houston gets to, you know, work toward obviously rebuilding its system. And honestly, I mean, and of course you sprinkle in again those $230 guaranteed $1 million as part of the deal as well that Cleveland ended up paying him. And if you're, let's go each side of this thing. There's going to be a lot with Cleveland. So let's just start with Houston. Let's just get the Texans out of the way. You got to be pretty happy with a trade package like this that nets you, again, 3 first-rounders and a third-rounder, and then, of course, the late-round pick. But 3 first-rounders in particular, when you already knew he wasn't coming back. Like, he wanted out, so it was just a function of where are we going to send him, assuming, I mean, they were probably, you know, wondering there in Houston. I imagine there were concerns of, are we just going to have to end up cutting this guy? Like, is this guy even going to play football again? Obviously not knowing his future, never mind getting out from underneath a large contract, one that, you know, justified for football reasons, obviously, but getting out from under that contract and then, you know, sort of figuring out where do we go from here? Well, now they're going to have a lot of options here coming up in the draft. Now, I don't know if they're going to go with another quarterback. I don't know if they're happy with Davis Mills. I don't know if they're just kind of looking at this being a stopgap for a year or two and continue to build up positions around the quarterback and go from there. Fact of the matter is Houston is not going anywhere in 2022. So what you think of this deal from the Texans side and Nick Caserio first?
Yeah, I think that the Texans did a good job. You know, there were plenty of times where, you know, most people, myself included, were like, just get rid of this guy. You got to get him off the books, right? The Dolphins want him. He's not going to play for you again. Take what you can. And, you know, very similarly to, you know, the Ben Simmons situation in Philly, Ben Casemiro, he kind of just sat back. He was patient, and he ultimately got what his demand was, which was 3 first-round picks plus 2 additional picks. So yeah, you have to like the haul. I think as for what do they do at quarterback, I think that they roll into this year with Davis Mills as the starter, and you see what he's got. If he is, a bust, then great. You'll be in position to draft the quarterback next year. The quarterback class in this upcoming draft is not particularly exciting anyway. So I think that it's a great year to sort of just punt on the position. As you mentioned, you're not expecting to contend. So see what he can give you. Use some of these extra picks to beef up the rest of your roster, because certainly they're only, they have holes at positions other than quarterback. So they can use their extra picks to beef up the defense or whatever other positions they're looking at. And, just take it sort of year by year.